Hello, everybody. This is Cheryl Abram. I'm back, and I think I have a really good, interesting topic today. So, when I was studying to get my CISA and my Security Plus, there was a lot of stuff that I just didn't get. Okay, I didn't understand it. All right, I and I'm not used to that. Okay, I'm not. I'm really used to taking my time to really discover and understand things, before I use them or move forward. Okay. So this IT cybersecurity stuff was really different for me. So y'all know I come from learning and development. Okay. I'm coming from a different industry. Okay. Pretty much into cybersecurity. So I had to adjust the way that I learn so that I could get these things. And I'm going to share with you how I was able to do that. Now, I'm not going to go over everything that stumped me, okay? Because when I was studying, there was a lot of stuff that came up. I was like, what the hell is this? Okay, and how does it apply to this other thing that I'm studying for? I was not able to get the answer right then and there, but over time I know that I'll be able to understand it more. But I want to talk about four specific things that really like held me up. Okay, and my study buddy, we have two totally different personalities, right? I would say to him, well, what does this mean? Like, what is that thing? And he would say, like, Google it, or or he would repeat to me the definition. Okay, which just don't work for me. Like, don't tell me the definition. That's not what I'm asking. What I'm asking, what is this? Okay. So before I go to the things that stumped me and how I was able to understand them, one technique I used was the Feynman technique. Okay. Richard Feynman, he was a scientist. He won a Nobel Prize, I believe, in physics. Listen, y'all, if you have never seen a video by Richard Feynman, you have not lived. You're not living your life. I'm telling you, this man is so amazing. One thing he says, well, he says a lot of amazing things, but the thing that I really love about him, now the physicist now, Nobel Prize winning, okay, very, very intelligent man. He said, if you cannot explain something simply, that means you don't understand it. Okay. If you ask me something and all I could tell you is go to Google, I don't know that. I don't understand it myself. Okay. It's basically what I'm saying. Okay. So I want to show you, let me share my screen with you real quick. I want to show you some of the stuff he did. Now, the thing that really fascinated me with him is his explanation of what fire is. Go to his YouTube video. He explains to you what fire is. And in that explanation, he talks about how it's either in that explanation or one of his other videos, but this thing like made me just fall in love with him. After he explained it, he said, in reality, the roots of a tree are in the air. They're not in the ground. And once you hear him explain why, he said, listen, I'm telling you, Richard Feynman, look him up, okay? Because you're missing out if you don't. And he explains things so that a 4-year-old can understand. Okay, I love him. I love everything he does, and it's just amazing. So I'm showing you this because he said knowing the name of something does not mean you know what that is, which is so true. So when studying for Security Plus and CISA, I was learning the name of a whole bunch of stuff, okay? But having no clue what this stuff really was. From the simplest things, the very simplest things. Okay, so the first thing that stumped me, that I really wanted to look into, as I was studying, is what is a computer? Which sounds crazy, okay? Like, what do you mean, what is a computer? But terms like computer, what is the internet, what is cyberspace. Those things that you think, I mean, it's language we use every single day, but I promise you, I promise, many people using these terms know what the term is, but they don't really know what it is, okay? So one of the places that I went to help me with like this fundamental stuff, like really getting to know and understand this very fundamental stuff that you just assume people should know, right? But I promise you they don't. They really, really don't. And I learned a lot when I went to this website and did some of these exercises. Computer Science Unplugged. Excellent. Okay. It is so good because you're learning computers without a computer. You have to, they have amazing exercises in there where you're interacting with another person and you're creating stuff to really help you understand what these terms are, what these things are, what a computer is, what a packet is, how it moves from one thing to another. It's amazing. Okay. So when you're studying, or if you're creating courses or whatever, use CS Unplugged. I'm telling you, it's a jewel. All this stuff is free. Okay, it's really good. It's really, really good. I can't praise it, more than I am right now. It's just very good. All right. The next term that I struggled with was servers. I could not. I read about them. I looked at the videos and all that, but I'm like, what the hell is a server? Like, I could not find a simple explanation for exactly what it was and what it does until I looked at Eli, the computer guy. And for all the stuff I'm talking about, I have links under the video, okay? Eli, the computer guy, has, from all the ones I've heard, the best explanation of what a server is. Okay, and he says it's simply a computer that provides services, of course. But he talks about server with the big S and server with a little s. Okay, before I looked at him, I was not aware that this laptop that I'm talking on right now, I could use this as a server. This could provide services to a client computer. I didn't know that. I was not aware of that before I looked at his video. In my mind, server was those big old things with a whole bunch of stuff with the lights flashing, and that's what I had in my mind. Okay, and this makes a difference. Let me just speak for me. For me, understanding, not just knowing the name of the thing and the definition and what I needed to know to pass the exam, but just going a little bit further, because that's just the way I learn. Okay, I got to go a little bit further until I'm comfortable with understanding this thing right now. And I know there is plenty more for me to learn. Okay, but for purposes of these exams, the way that I learn, I had to go just a little bit further. All right. The next one, I talked about internet, really understanding what the internet is. Okay. I saw some YouTube videos, which were really good, but there was one YouTube video, it was an older one, where it said the internet is, what did it say? The internet is a line. It said the internet, and in the video, it drew like the internet is just like this straight line, like this. So like, what the hell are you talking about? What does that mean? Okay, so for further stuff, I went to see that the internet is the hardware, like it's the stuff that makes cyberspace, me talking to you right now, on this laptop, on YouTube, on StreamYard, it's the hardware that makes all that possible. And one of the places that I went to look at this is the internet's undersea cables. There's a really, really good, this isn't the one, but I think the link of it is in here, but go to this page too. It's a live view of all the cables in the ocean, the fiber optic cables, in the ocean that are part of the internet, the hardware that makes up the internet. Okay. Now it also includes, routers and switches and stuff like that. So all the hardware. All right. But this was really interesting too, because it went even further into, if you look at this website, it talks about how the cable is installed under the ocean. And it's just interesting stuff. Sharks are trying to eat the internet. I thought that was cute, so it talks about all that stuff, right? So this is a really good website, okay? The internet is as vulnerable underwater as it is underground, okay? So go to this and look at that. So that helped me, really helped me understand what the internet was, which was really useful when it came to the networking type stuff, okay? All the, oh my God, all the different cables and all that stuff, in networking. So the last one, now my study buddy, I know I got on his damn nerves when it came to me asking all these questions, okay? And just go look it up. That did nothing for me. I had the hardest time figuring out what the hell is a port, okay? Like I see the little connections like on the back of it, but when it comes to the port numbers, the 22 and the 21 and 3389, all these ports, 23, all these ports, like what the hell is that? And where is it? Okay, where is it? A lot of the stuff we talk about is not something you can touch, okay? So for me, it took a different kind of understanding, okay? And I had to I learn really well when I use metaphor, okay? Or to get to something indirectly. Like one thing that I struggle with is, before I get to this last thing about ports, okay? One thing I really struggle with is directions. I'm missing like a chromosome or something when it comes to directions. I cannot find my way anywhere without my GPS or whatever. And even if I've been there before, it's hard for me to remember how to get there again. I'm telling you, it must be some kind of biological thing going on here. But yeah, I struggle with that. So I remember one day I was going to lunch with my boyfriend. We were going to Bus Boys and Poets in DC, okay, from my job. And he's trying to explain to me as we're driving, Cheryl, this is how we get here. This is how you get to Bus Boys and Poets and stuff. And I'm like, I see how we get there. Like I see, but if I had to do this tomorrow without a GPS, I'd never make it. I just wouldn't. Okay. So he said to me, okay, what about this? He said, where do you work? So I told him where I work. And he pointed. He said, if you go straight back this way, you'll be back at your job. And I got it like that. I'm like, oh, okay. I see what you're saying. So going at it directly for me is not always the best way for me to understand it. Using a metaphor really helps me to understand it better. So from there, I can go on to say, oh, okay, I see. That's what I needed for ports. Okay. I couldn't read the definition again. I needed something else to help me understand that was. So for ports, let me show you where I went to understand what this is. Okay, let me share again. So I found out that a port is just the thing that allows inputs and outputs, very, very simply, okay? So let's say I'm a computer, without a port, okay, between me and whatever I want to communicate with, I would only be able to talk to myself. I could only talk in my head, or the words I'm saying right now would go no further than me, okay, without a port, without ports. So I'm like, okay, that's kind of like a wormhole. So I thought of that. I thought of the Lost in Space, okay, and some of these other movies where in order for you to get here, and books too, because I read some books with wormholes in it, in order for you to get to this dimension or this point in space, you got to go through a wormhole. okay? Because that's the input to this place, okay, and the output. So you have to do it through the wormhole. So I was like, okay. So I looked at a video of a wormhole. So here Neil deGrasse Tyson talks about what a wormhole is. And believe it or not, this video really helped me understand, okay, that's what a port is. I got it. Okay. And from there, you know, seeing how important they are, which ones we need to use, opening and closing the ports so that, you know, you want to stop communication from happening. Okay, I got it. I absolutely get it. All right. So these are some of the things. Okay, like I said, there were others that stumped me, but these are some of the things that, you know, I had problems with, and it was hard for me to get the content related to them, you know, without looking further into it and getting a better understanding. Another thing that I don't have here that I just thought of was the protocol, TCP/IP. Like okay, okay, I can read the definition. I see the videos. There are many videos about TCP/IP. That's fine. But this one person, I forget who it was, but he gave a really good metaphor that helped me get it. Okay. And he said, think of it like you're in an organization, your work organization. And in your organization, you have different departments. You have HR, you have IT, you have facilities, you know, you have the CEO's office, you have these different things, right? So if I have a payroll problem, let's say I have a payroll problem, I'm not going to go to facilities to get help because I'm not getting paid the right way. I got to go to HR, okay? Because HR deals with payroll. So that's where I go, right? So he was saying, so for the different levels of the TCP/IP, if you have an application issue, you have to go to the application department, you know, to fix that issue, right? So his explanation and the things he went into regarding that helped me better see, okay, where this protocol fits in, like what's its function in the whole, you know, in the whole picture, okay? And that's really the thing, right? What are the functions of these? What's the function of a server? The function of a computer, the function of ports, right? That goes into ensuring this whole system just works the way it needs to work. Okay, if you think of all these things as gears, okay, every gear is grinding, okay, and every gear has a function, it has a role. If you take that gear out, something in the system is going to be messed up, okay? So these are the things I did. These are the things that confused me and stomped me and made me get on the nerves of my study buddy and, and all that stuff. But these are also places that I went to gain a better understanding, okay? Because we don't all learn the same, okay? We don't. So I had to do what was useful for me, all right, in order to be able to learn this stuff. And not just to pass the certification, right? But to continue on in the work that I'm going to be doing, you know, in these things in the future. All right. Okay, so that's all I have. I hope this was useful and helpful. Again, all the links are in the description, and I'll see you here next time. Okay, bye-bye.